Welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. My name's Connor Williams, and we're back with another video. This time it's the initial match reaction to the 1-0 win away to Nottingham Forest. To Everton at Nottingham Forest. Um, just talking through the game and stuff like that. So kicking it off, we might as well talk about the start. Obviously, the news broke. Sean Dyche alluded to it midweek, didn't he? He said no. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Onana was a doubt, and he was like pretty much no Onana either, which are two massive misses for this team. I think Idrissa Gueye played well yesterday. It's just putting that out there. But I do think we miss Onana's technical ability on the ball, as well as the fact that he brings his strength because of his size. He's a very good progressive passer of the ball. He's got a really nice technique, and he can carry the ball a little bit better. Like, don't get me wrong, Idrissa Gueye, I think, can carry the ball well, and I think it gets lost in how well he can ball carry because he's a good defensive player, but he can do it. But Onana's just, I think partly the potential, but I also think he's got that little bit more about him, sort of thing. So I think we missed him a little bit, but I think the main one we missed was Dominic Calvert-Lewin. We'll get into Beto as well, but I think we missed Dominic Calvert-Lewin there. He not just the goals, or it's the way he moves us up the field as well, sort of thing. But yeah, like I said, Pickford, Young, Tarkowski, Branthwaite, Mikalenko, Harrison, Garner, Gay, McNeil, Decore, and Beto were the players. The first half, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Looking at like the first half was a bit snoozy. This is the first game I think in a while that we haven't been high on the XG. I think Forest might have had more XG than us. But obviously we took our chance. It was a great goal by Dwight McNeil, and I'll get into that. Fantastic finish. But yeah, so we playing that 4-4-1-1 as well. The first half I thought was a bit tough. I'm not gonna lie, it looked like nobody wanted the ball. We had a couple of chances early on, but it would run the sort of pattern of we'd win the ball, give it straight away. Forest would win the ball, give it away straight away. And it was that for a large part of the first half, actually. I was watching it like, not only is this a little bit dire, but also, somebody keep the ball. For Christ's sake, somebody get hold of it. But yeah, like I said, we had chances. Tarkowski sent a long ball into the area, into the Forest area. The keeper failed to deal with it. After tossing McNeil forced the Beto, who half volleyed it straight into the stands. Really needs to be hitting the target there, but I think he knows that. Beto he said he likes creating chaos, and I think that is it. I think in bits yesterday, people were like, I can see why he's not getting in and why Dyche isn't playing him. But then in bits, you're like, nah, he should be playing more. Like, he's really in the same game. You could go, geez, yeah, I can see why he's not pushing Calvert-Lewin out the team yet. But then in the 2 seconds later, he's got a moment where you're like, wow, what a player that could be. I think we've got to give him time. I saw a lot of people writing him off. They've been writing him off for a while, but yesterday seemed to be more people writing him off. Don't write him off just yet. He's come from a new league to a new league. It's always hard for players to, sink in straight away. Especially strikers. The only striker I can name in recent times that's joined the Premier League and hit it off the way he had been in the previous leagues is Haaland. Every other striker, especially ones we get from foreign countries, they do struggle a little bit in the first couple of seasons. So just be patient with Beto. I think his time will come. And I think he's a good option off the bench. I do like the fact that he uses Chimiti as well, though. I'd love to see a bit more of Chimiti. But yeah, like I said, first off, a bit of a snooze, bit of a who can keep the ball, sort of thing. Did get close again when the ball's fired into Decore, who turns, plays McNeil one-on-one with the keeper. He slips it past the keeper, and this was really unlucky because Murillo had just pulled up with an injury, and he'd been playing well, Murillo, for them. and it goes past under the keeper, past him, um, heading towards the goal, and Murillo just knocks it off the line. And I'm sure when he knocks it off the line, it hits the post and bounce off as well. Really unlucky. Like I said, and that Murillo, I think, goes off not long after that. Because when he went off, I was thinking, I am glad to see you go off because that should have been two there. That should have been 1-0 there, leading into two. So yeah, like I said, he went off. We're quite glad to see him go off. To be honest, you never like seeing a player go off injured, but I was like, yeah, he's. Did he go off actually? I don't know. Now was it Willie Bolly that went off? No, it was Willie Bolly that went off injured. Murillo stayed on, but he did play well. Um, he did play really well. He did definitely pick up an injury, which is, I really hoped he would go off, but he didn't. Willie Bolly did go off, who I think I don't know about Willie Bolly. I think he was, when he was at Wolves, was a very good player. I think he's unlucky to get his injury. It's good that he came off though, because Philippe came on, who I do remember the commentators saying hasn't played a game of football this season, and could have been sent off actually. So, I mean, Forest also had a very, very fair penalty shout dismissed, and I think we're lucky to get away with that. But yeah, Philippe needs a bit more game time, doesn't he? But like I said, yeah, going into half time, deadlock. We should definitely have felt like we should be at least two up. Beto's opportunity should have been in. McNeil really unlucky. And you got to remember, Nottingham Forest are a very tough team to play. They play how they play, and it works. It's effective. They had more possession, but I don't think they knew what to do with it quite as well. But yeah, they created 0.15 xg and failed to test Pickford. Obviously, the second half that came, they came more into the game. I don't know if that was part of us because we got the goal. Obviously, maybe we took our foot off the gas. It is a bit of a problem I've noticed with us. But yeah, going into the second half, Aurier had a chance, picked out Gibbs White, took on Malenko. McNeil comes across to help him out, and it gains a corner for Forest, which falls to Philippe from 6 yards out, and he strikes the post. Really, really, really unlucky there. Philippe also then immediately, pretty much after, like 3 minutes later, gets his yellow card, bringing down McNeil just outside the box. Very, very close, resulting in a free kick. And we need a better free kick set piece taker in this team. I can't remember the last time we scored a free kick, but Young, yeah, takes it, fires it into the wall and behind for a corner. Not the greatest free kick I've ever seen taken. Probably not the best one Ashley Young's ever taken either. But then 68th minute, the goal came. Harrison played a 1-2 with Idrissa Gueye on the right hand side. Receives the ball inside the box. He clips across into the penalty area, which Beto can't get to. McNeil finds it at the back of the post, takes one touch and fires it into the top corner. Really fantastic finish. If you're watching it on the TV, you have to endure some of Dury's really, really dreadful commentating of he's a fan of Spider-Man and something like, and he's a superhero today. Oof. Yeesh. Really, really tough that. But the goal was coming, and I think the goal was deserved. We had the better chances in the first half. You could argue we should have been 2-0 up in the first half. And yeah, like I said, after that, Forest had a couple of chances. Alanga had a couple of chances. Gibbs White managed to produce a bit. Some decent crosses coming in. Gibbs White, by the way, we were linked with him. Obviously, I think it was 2 summers ago now. Really good player. I thought he played really well against us. It's a bit unfortunate that we didn't get him, but I remember at the time the price being very high. But yeah, really nice player. Yeah, like I said, we also had Beto who spins past Philippe, but the defender dragged him to the floor. This is the one that could have been a second yellow. The referee opted not to give him a second yellow for that pull on Beto. Really lucky there. Then we saw Chimiti come on, and we saw Divock Origi. And I'm going to be honest, when I saw Divock Origi come in, I thought we were in a little bit of trouble. Yeah, I thought we were in a bit of trouble. Philippe made another foul as well. I got a couple, but the first one was the one I think he was really lucky to stay on for. Um, but I do think I've seen the clip back. I watched it live, saw the clip back. Do think the Core's pull. I think he's lucky to get away with that. He does pull him to the ground. I think it's right in VAR saying that. I think they said that like they would get six and sevens. Couldn't really. They don't think it really affected the game because of where the ball went. Either, which is the right call, I think. Well, I'm slightly biased. I think that's the right call to sort of be judging it overall. But I mean, he's dragged them to the floor in the box. I've seen them given. I think Nottingham Forest can feel a little bit hard done by not getting the penalty, but they all balance out in the end because you could argue Philippe probably should have gone off, and Forest should have been playing most of the second half with 10 men. So, and then you could argue with 10 men, would they have even if it was 1-1, would they have kept the 1-1, or would we have been able to get the two? Um, so yeah, but overall, I thought it was a really, really well earned 3 points, and needed 3 points as well because we are in the midst of some tough games in between, some games that we should be getting points from and some that are tough. Um, Forest are a tough place to go as well. They're a good team. Steve Cooper, I mean, they're a good team at what they do. I don't like his style of football. I don't really like Forest style, sorry, but it's effective and it works, and that's why they've been up in the Premier League for 2 seasons now. It works. They were quite clear of it last year. They weren't in as much trouble as we were. Think they'll be clear of the zone this year as well. I don't think they're one of the ones to go down this year. So yeah, really tough place to go, and we did really well. It was a scrappy first half, like I said. Neither side really created or were able to hold on to the ball, really. Um, Obviously, we came out of the blocks in the second half. Dwight McNeil's finish, fantastic finish, really well done to Dwight McNeil. Glad to see him get a goal. People were sort of saying, has he been a bit quiet recently, a bit subdued, as his form dropped off. So really great to see him get it. Um, Forest as well, credit where it's due. They gave everything towards the end. Really trying to get that equaliser. But alas, they couldn't get it. And they move on to I think they've got Fulham, have they, Craven Cottage, whereas we've got Newcastle at home, which is going to be a tough game, and I'm sure we'll cover on the channel, so I won't go into too much detail there. But yeah, overall, my man of the match is probably going to be James Garner. I thought James Garner had a fantastic game of football. Dwight McNeil, decent, got a goal. Tarkowski as well, really well played from James Tarkowski. I think he deserves that. I don't think Ashley Young was that bad this week. I don't think he was that awful. Mikalenko, I thought had another solid game as well. Really impressed with Mikalenko. He's turning it around really well. He had a little purple patch, and now he's back to where he is, which is consistently quite good. But like I said, James Garner, fantastic midfielder. Um, Sort of looking at it, he's 80% pass accuracy, 2 out of 2 successful dribbles, 9 passes into the final third, 3 out of 6 successful long balls, 4 clearances, 3 interceptions, 13 recoveries. Really did play well, really ran the midfield well as well. Room for improvement, I'd probably say Beto is the obvious one. I think he could have done a little bit better. If he finished this chance, we'd be talking about a different player. And I think Harrison as well. I think Jack Harrison could do with improving slightly. Jack Harrison's an interesting one. I know a couple of Leeds fans, and I've spoken to a couple on the internet as well on Twitter when I've been tweeting about Jack Harrison. But I know a fellow I play five-a-side with on a Monday who I think they're all hoping we buy him. And I've heard they've said he's hot and cold, and I think we're seeing that a little bit. So Harrison and Beto were the two to improve, I think. But overall, really well earned 3 points, really well played. Really enjoying watching us now. Sean Dyche has got them gelling well as well, and sort of stuff's coming to fruition. All the hard work, the groundwork that was put into the first couple of games where we were losing and we should have been winning, or drawing and we should have won them. They're now coming forward, and you can see where the progression is, and that's the point. Like, if you could see it in the early games, like myself and a couple of others did fantastic. You knew this was going to come. If you didn't, I'm glad that you're getting to see it now, because in the end of the day, we can talk about XG stats, everything. There's only one stat that matters, and that's the scoreline. Results speak in football, and we're starting to see the results. And I think this is the right, the points deduction hasn't knocked on massively. The United game was a little bit tough, but they've managed. I think they've like sort of recouped and gone, listen, you can't let your heads drop like this. Another win, if results go our way and we jump Luton, and we're out. Obviously, Luton have to lose and we have to win. We've got Newcastle, which is a tough game. I don't know who Luton have got. But we are, we're on 7 points. We're not rock bottom of the Premier League anymore, which we were at one point over the weekend. Irritatingly, if you put our 10 points back, we've got 17 points, which at the time we're recording would have put us 12th, which would have been 10 points off the drop. Alas, though, I don't know. The appeal is yet to come. I don't know if much will come of it. Even if we get 5 back, I'll take that, because that puts us at 12 points, which puts us just above Luton, which wouldn't, isn't massive, but it does put us about 4 points off the drop, 5 points off the drop, which is easy to work with. But yeah, don't forget to like the video, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and comment down below your thoughts on the game. Look forward to reading them. See you soon.